Good morning. So I'm here with a new BB rifle. This is a single cock springer, very much like the Daisy Red Rider, and it's called the Marlin lever action. It's made by Umarex. So it's like a bit like a Daisy Red Rider. There's a lot of similarities. Okay, it's got a slightly longer stock on it and a slightly more raised cheek piece, which is in some respects it's not that good. If you've got an oval face like I have, okay, you've got a more round face, it might be a bit better because of the actual way the sights are, which I should explain. So the manual, yeah, it's very much Umarexy. See Umarex on the back, so it's an Umarex manual. Shows you how to cock it. So you basically, I find it's best to put it upright and the BBs drop through into the hopper, and one gets held by a magnet, and then you cock it single stroke and it's ready to go. Okay, so yeah, manual's pretty, tells you nice pictures actually, just tells you everything you need to know. So we're moving on to the rifle. So here we are. So this is actually very affordable in the UK. It's less than 50 quid, which is good. All this is metal, obviously the internals are metal, that's all metal. The only thing is they've got a plastic trigger, which isn't uncommon with a lot of like cheaper rifles or pistols even. But the thing is, the trigger pull is only £4, so it's a really nice trigger actually, and it does break very consistently. There's some movement and it fires, but it's very, very consistent. So all this is metal, obviously. The stock and the foregrip is checkered, and it's all like plastic, but it's really like quite good quality plastics. You know, Umarex make good quality plastics. So you've got a bit of branding on the back. Yeah, if you shut that there. We haven't got the right way around the right. I'll put it upside down. There you go. Have a look at that. So that's the Marlin branding. Got the Cowboy underneath. Okay. So basically the way this is, because it's spring powered, you shouldn't drive fire these, but basically you've got a cocking lever here, you unclip it here, cock it all the way, it's like a ratchet, gets up there, brings it down, and that cocks the spring inside. And then you've got a little window here, okay, you can see this window there, where my finger is, and what it is, you've got a hopper up here, so you open this hopper, you press it in and up, like so, you open that up, and then you can drop up to 650 BBs in there, so you could actually sit here and just sit outside and just pop cans all day really. There's a lot of BBs, that is. Then you just push that forward and it latches shut. Okay, so all this is metal. You've got your cross bolt safety here, so that's on, locks the trigger, and that's off. You can see the red dot there, red bar there. Okay, so it's a nice trigger. It pulls like that. It goes to about there and then it goes, yeah, and it's like £4. It's really, really consistent. Right. Now, the only thing I can say about this is, if you've got like an oval face like I have, you might have a bit of a problem getting to see the sights, because you put it in the shoulder and you've got this cheek piece, and you've really got to get down to see the sight. And the problem is with this sight as well, I don't know if you can see this, but that's a peep sight. And that's very weird, because the Daisy Red Rider has a proper like V. So the foresight sits in the V. But because it's a peep sight and you've got a V, it's very hard to get that dead central. I don't understand why they put a peep sight on this. You're a bit off having like the Daisy Red Rider, just standard V. So the foresight would sit inside the V. It only got adjustment for elevation as well. See, so it's very basic, and this is riveted here. So there's no way you can adjust it for windage, because if I show you the Crosman 1077, which I have down here, which is a much more expensive thing, you'll see you've got two screws here. So you can slack them off and just give it the sight a tweak to the left or tweak to the right to adjust for windage, and it does work very well. So why Umarex didn't do that with that and give that little bit of adjustment? And the reason why I say that, because this thing does shoot to the right, which I shall show you on the targets I took. Okay, so yeah, I know this is a lot more expensive compared to that. This is probably at least double the price of that. But yeah, that little bit of extra adjustment is really required for this. Okay, so yeah, you've got a little hole here. You can see this little hole, put my finger by it and you can see it. Now that's for lubricating the actual rifle, so they recommend every 1000 BBs, and if you had a full hopper of 650, you know, they don't take like a full one of those, another half. Just drop a single drop of silicone oil in there and that lubricates the internals. Okay, all this is metal, so it's really well made. But like I said, if you've got a fairly oval face, it can be a bit difficult to get the sight in. You've got to really get down, and you've got to put the foresight, actually the bottom of the foresight, at the bottom of the actual peep sight, because if you go any higher, you've got these two little ridges here, and you can see them, and that really affects the accuracy, yeah, it's not the easiest thing to shoot. If you put a proper V in the rear sight, then this would have been a lot easier to shoot. So anyway, I'm going to show you the actual targets I took, and this sort of really shows it. The first was actually semi-rested on a bag at 10 yards, and it was quite erratic. I don't think, being a Springer, it was that keen on being on a bag. So I don't know if you can see that, but they're all like basically spread out to the right of the target. Aim point was at the bottom of the circle, okay, best to could. So then I went out and did a bit of freestanding. Again, aim point was the same, but you see the grouping at 10 shots is a lot better, but again they're over to the right. And then finally I aimed across and low, so I aimed to the left, and yeah, I got a much better group, to be fair. I mean, that's 10 shots. I had one down here, but the other 9 are all in the black, or just one outside the black, but yeah, the other 8 are inside the black. So that's pretty central. So it is really the sights that are the issue with this, not anything else. It seems to shoot pretty straight, and that was freestanding at 10 yards. And you know me, I tend to move around a little bit as well, so I wasn't totally still, but because the trigger is quite good at £4, it's pretty good. Did do a Chronograph test as well. Put my FX radar on the front of it. Did 10 shots. It only does 0.9 of a foot-pound energy. You can see that it's averaging 282 is an average, yeah, FPS. 0.9 of a foot-pound energy, but the spread was only 6 over 10 shots. Very, very consistent. So it's very, very consistent. Springer's is the only very consistent power plant, and it's just a case, obviously, being a smooth ball, you're going to get the odd flyer, but that 10-yard group, yeah, at freestanding at 10 yards, yeah, 10 shots, aiming there, I think that was pretty good. And if I'd had a better sight on the back, I think I would have probably got it a bit better as well, a bit tighter. So what do I think? Well, I like it. I said, I don't know whether there's any way I can actually alter this sight, or maybe put a piece of metal over it and turn it into like a little V. It's going to be difficult, or maybe make that smaller so the foresights is it. I probably will put a bit of maybe white paint on the front of the foresight, will make it a bit easier to see in the peep, so you can work out the actual height, because that blackness all goes into one, and it's very hard to see through a peep. The only thing I don't like is this is like a full plastic cone. I'm not sure why it doesn't actually do anything apart from the foresight, where the Daisy Red Rider has it directly attached to the actual top of the actual cylinder, which I think is better. But yeah, don't forget this is only like 40. I think I paid 42 in UK. So yeah, that's very good. And like I said, it seems pretty well. It seems very reliable. I've been shooting it. Like I said, main thing is once you've loaded it, tilt it. Yeah, the BB will run down. The magnet will hold the first BB. Cock it like that, and then you go to the shoot. If you get used to doing that, you won't miss a beat. And once you get to a point where there is no BB in there, you'll just see the steel. I don't know if you can see it in this light, but there's just a steel rod going through the middle, and you'll see that's empty, and there won't be no BB sitting inside. Okay, so there you go. So what do I think about it? Yeah, I like it. It's really well made for the money. I mean, can't argue with that. Like I said, downside is the sight. Umarex, you really need to think about these sort of things. It's no good having a reliable, well-made, like BB shooter like this is. It is solid, and then put a non-adjustable windage sight, because unfortunately this does. You're having to compensate, and it does shoot well once you work out where to aim. But the thing is, I put a peep sight on, which is rubbish, to be fair. Yeah, if you're going to have a foresight that's a vertical bar, put a vertical bloody groove at the back, so you can put the vertical foresight in the rear sight, because it doesn't make any bloody sense trying to get a bloody vertical sight in it. I mean, if you've got an Uzi is different. Uzis always have peep sights. I've got a couple of Uzis, and yeah, they shoot really well, but the peep hole is just the right size. This peep sight hole is, I think, it's way too big for that. Yeah, there's too much air either side of the actual foresight, so you sort of guessing where to position it, where it's not. It could be a lot more precise. But yeah, I mean, Umarex could change that. They could get rid of those rivets and put a couple of screws in there. Yeah, very much like the 1077, and that would fix this easily. Yeah, you don't need that much engine. I mean, 280 FPS. Yeah, you'll be able to hit cans if you've got the accuracy out to 20 meters. Yeah, no problem whatsoever. Okay, so that's the unboxing review of the Marlin lever action. As I said, it's very much like the Daisy. Shoots very much like the Daisy. My friend brought the Daisy out and I did compare the two. One thing I noticed about the Daisy, two things really. The Daisy had wooden stock and wooden foregrip, which is much better. The Daisy always had a straighter line down here as well. This cheek piece was about an inch low, or 3/4 of an inch lower on the Daisy, which meant your head-eye position was better. And also the Daisy had a proper V in the back, yeah, so the sighting was dead on. And even though you couldn't adjust the windage of the Daisy was shooting dead straight as well, like this. So yeah, the only downside of the Daisy is because the stock is shorter, the actual pull, the actual pull is a lot shorter, so you're sort of like shunched over. Yeah, it's really designed for a younger shooter, you know, smaller shooters, really, not younger, a smaller shooter. Where this has a longer stock, so it's the actual position is more ideal for an adult. Okay. So yeah, there you go. So yeah, really well made. Just a shame about that rear sight. So I might try and do something about that and see if I can get it. You can't move it left and right without twisting it, which is no good. And you'd only have to move it probably just a millimetre, or even a couple. I think I only adjusted the 1077 by a millimetre just to bring it into line. Yeah. So there you go. I hope you like the review. Have a great weekend, and if you do like these videos, don't bore you too much. Please subscribe. If you can tap on the little icon in the lower right hand corner of my videos, and you'll get notifications. So have a great weekend, and thanks for watching.